Here we go. Welcome back to episode 3 of Meta Unmasked.
Let's go.
We are your hosts, Josh and Jayden. We have Corey in the house, CMO of Pegaxy.
Whoa, everyone. Big.
Hey. Massive.
We had to.
I literally flew here.
He did.
Just
he did.
This.
Every step had
All
$50 underneath it. So we're going to get straight into it. Last episode, we were kind of overviewing our experience of Pegaxy, how we kind of make money. But I guess what everyone wants to know.
You guys are making money?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, boy.
But do you want me to unreveal how much you've... Nah, it's cool.
That's crazy.
No, we won't reveal the rug pull yet. But so we just kind of want to talk about, obviously you're the co-founder, bro. That's massive. Like, I don't even think Jayden and I understand, like, bro.
That's pretty easy to understand. Like there's like 3 of you and then you all founded it.
Corey.
It's going to be a long day.
Yeah, you're going to have to listen here, mate. Eight months ago, you and Jayden were recording videos for Gel Blasters, bro. And all of a sudden one day you've come and like, hey man, I'm part of this big team and I'm releasing an NFT game. That's big, man. How did that even start?
I like F1 and then Gary V was like NFTs and I was like, what's an NFT? So I looked into it and then I saw an F1 game.
So is that like a racing game?
Yeah, like Formula 1.
Okay, cool.
And then I saw a Formula 1 NFT game and I was like, looks sick. Put money in. It was on the Ethereum chain. So like to do like one race, I'm paying like $50 and the reward is like $3. I was like, this is sick.
That's definitely profitable. Yeah, if you ask me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to get rich probably. So obviously, anyway, I was like, they're not doing that well. I wanted to help them. So did some videos on YouTube just like explaining how to get into the game.
Of Formula 1?
Yeah, the F1 game.
Sure.
Yeah, I was just like, this is how you sign up. This is the money you're probably going to lose. Come play. So then from that, at the same time, Axie, as you guys know, Axie Infinity was popping, Zrun was popping, and this game was not popping. So I was like, all right. Then someone came along named Ken, who's now the co-founder as well. He was like, what up? See, you're into NFTs.
How'd you meet him?
Talk. Discord. That's it.
Sounds
he
like
just
a
messaged
scam.
me on Discord.
Bro, that sounds weird, bro.
Yeah.
So a
That's
dude
how it
named
happened.
Ken, which is literally the male version of a Barbie, rocks up in Discord and he goes, what's up?
Yeah, he was like, hey, bro, we're thinking of starting an NFT game. I see that you're in the space. Maybe we can chat. I was like, I was that close to not replying because you get so many of those in crypto. And I was like, maybe something can happen. So I replied a couple months. That was like in January or February 2021. And then we started.
Early. Whoa.
Yeah, we started building in April or May. January, March or April, we started building Pegaxy.
Sick.
Wow.
And that's
So it was actually very early on in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was trying to introduce... I didn't really want to talk to, like you boys who are my friends in case I lost everyone money with the F1 game. So I was like, people who are actually interested on YouTube looking for it, I'll try to help them.
But you won't help your mates out.
I'm not going to... I'm going to be like, come in, put...
But you still don't help us even though we're invested, bro.
I tried to help you guys with Peg... Anyway.
Bro, this guy,
into
you
that
know
shit.
him more than you know me. He had zero clue about it, bro.
Yeah.
I tried to explain the entire ecosystem of Axie and Pegaxy to him, and he just, how can I explain that to someone who's not in it? You boys tried to explain that shit.
I did, and he plays now.
The entire economic cycle of how Pegaxy works.
Yeah, but...
To someone who's never been in it.
All right, but he plays now.
Yeah.
Because I took 20 minutes out of my time to explain it to him.
Bitch, I did too.
Bruh. You're so full of shit, Corey.
What are you talking?
Bro,
I spoke to him about it.
did
No,
not.
at my house.
Call him out, bro.
We did speak to... I told you
briefly.
how it works.
Briefly.
And then I'm like...
But it's not in a way that makes you want... He just talks about it. Like,
Yeah, because
you got to do this, you got to do that. Okay, I got to go buy. And then he just walks off. Like, how do you expect him's going to put 10 grand in something?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to put you boys like, oh, yeah, chuck 10 grand into my startup.
Yeah, but that's...
true.
That's actually what I did do.
Yeah, but you can word it like, hey, man...
No, that's actually what I did do.
What?
And no one rocked up. The old Mark Zuckerberg.
How much we got on this time? Did he tell you about the startup to invest before?
Nah.
Cozza.
I didn't tell anyone except you boys because you had GBU and I was like, I'm doing this horse thing. And you were like, oh, I love horses.
I'm getting in.
Well, everyone there was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy a horse. Or can we race the horses? Blah, 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 blah.
Gosh.
It's 3 months past. I'm like, all right, boys, it's time. They're like,
Nah. It went a bit different to that.
I'm like, boys, this is your last chance. You're like,
No, last chance. I didn't even get a first.
I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I owe Jayden a big one. But.
Just give him a horse.
And then thirdly, I was like, all right, it's done. Josh was like, mate, I had $5,000, buddy. Oh, you're such a dog. Anyway,
back on track.
Yes, go.
We can have a personal conversation after.
Go. What do you want to ask him?
Well, basically, so last podcast we obviously touched on sort of like the unlocks and sort of the longevity of Pegaxy itself. You just spoke about sort of how you got involved in it. Obviously, you're the co-founder of the whole game.
Big.
So I think we just dive massive straight into it and just sort of. So what's your role now within Pegaxy and sort of what do you see? So how do you sort of what's your role and sort of what do you do? And what are you currently working on, and what are your sort of immediate, I guess, things you're trying to tackle within the game?
my role, I guess obviously I've got CMO, which is the marketing side. So
what does this stand for?
Chief Marketing Officer.
Big deal.
But it's like, I guess.
Sorry, bro. Like this. Anyway, keep going. CMO.
Josh is Chief Eat Food Officer.
Anyway, thanks, mate. Can we edit that out? All right, let's go. I've been sucking in for 20 minutes.
So in like a startup, you kind of just adopt roles. So I guess we kind of just fill most areas that are required. Business development, ideas. Obviously the customer support side is really important as well. So we built the foundations of that, but the marketing side is more so strategy, just like business strategy and business development is really the main thing that we are now, because when you look at the marketing side, there's not much marketing required. It's more it's more branding.
Well, there's no marketing that I know of that has happened so far. Yeah,
that came back to the like CMO doesn't really make sense all that much, because I just theorized the strategy before, and then I was like, I don't even need market, I guess. So a bit of backstory on how we actually did launch in March, April, whenever that was. I also started P2E News at that time, and then because there was no news source or platform that had the genuine attention without paying for bullshit followers, fake followers, trash reach. I was like, why am I going to pay someone for that shit when right now there's an opportunity to build it myself? So then we built that. I got employees for that to run that, and then it kind of turned into a beast of its own.
So is that just keeping up to date with the latest play to earn games and just like coins of those games, latest updates and whatnot?
That's it. Yeah. So it just looks at the industry as a whole, and then the perspective there, the plan there in general. Since we built it, I was like, then I can control my own media. The people that we are attracting through this news is the people that we want to be playing the game.
Massive.
So I was like, might as well build that, and then when the time comes, I can just squeeze Pegaxy to be relevant. And then during that period of time, we also bought the Small Love Potion Twitter. Some people probably don't know this. But,
I don't even.
It's like the Axie's token.
Oh, okay.
So like
SLP.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sure.
So there was a Twitter account. He reached out to me and he was like, do you want to buy it for 4K? It had like 10,000 followers. I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then I looked at, that was the only possible handle for it. You can't copy it.
Yeah, wow.
And then I was like, okay, maybe we should buy it. So I bought it, and the plan here was never to tarnish or do anything bad with it. The idea was that what we post about Axie on P2E News, retweet with the SLP page, because everybody there. And then the SLP page went to it's at like 200k followers now.
The one you bought,
and
it had 10k on it.
Organically, it grew.
Massive.
And then when we talk about SLP, we reshare it on there. All of the Axie community then sees P2E News. They're like, oh my god, P2E News, and then that P2E News can speak about Pegaxy.
Sure.
So that was
so you're not jeopardizing the whole SLP Axie kind of audience.
Well, I'm not trying to like be a dick. about it, but I just had that opportunity, and I was like, it's $4,000.
Smart, bro.
That's the entire marketing budget, $4,000. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, sick.
All we needed was that bit of momentum. Like, we just needed the Axie community to recognize what we have. And I was like, well, shit, if you have all of the guilds following this page, then I make them follow P2E News. And then I talk about on P2E News about Pegaxy, like, this is kind of like Axie, come look at it. They'll be like, all right, that was it. That's the whole.
So sorry, if you're going to say something.
Yeah, you're right.
So we've been hearing and seeing a lot of guilds. If you don't know what guilds are, essentially it's like a bunch of people that kind of join a guild or a group, and they kind of hop between games and create a statement in each game, invest in games and whatnot. So I've been seeing a lot of people jumping out of Axie Infinity within the last probably the last month, like aggressively just jumping and hopping. We can see the Viz prices absolutely soaring through the roof over the last week or two. How much of that, how much of the Axie community do you think, like the big investors, do you think we kind of can expect to jump into Pegaxy? Is it going to be the majority of them because of Axie pretty much essentially dying, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't say Axie, you got some people are really emotional and can't even see a couple of months ahead. So you can't really do much about them. They're going to jump ship anyway to the next best thing, which seems Pegaxy seems to be that. But the smart ones are not going to consolidate at the bottom. It's like they found Axie right now where Pegaxy is. So they kind of bought expensive.
Okay, sure.
And then they build all the way through. And then because they jump on the trends, they see Axie is now, pretty low. It might take 6 to 12 months to recover.
Yeah.
They consolidate and sell at literally the dead bottom.
Yeah,
that's pretty. You might as well and keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct.
So for those guys, I mean, that's pretty dumb move. I'll be honest. I would recommend against it, but you can do whatever you like. But yeah, I mean, right now I don't know if there's many guilds not in Pegaxy or considering it.
So you think it's had that much influence on the community that you pretty much all the big fish are at least dipping their toes into Pegaxy?
Or considering it. The bigger guilds who made a shit ton of money in Axie aren't dumb. So they are waiting to see what will happen. But the amount of calls I have with them just wanting to know, they want to know the team, they want to know the background, they want to know our vision, because they're going to deploy millions of dollars into a game. So they want to be confident. They're not going to go and give it to some dickhead that's anonymous.
Yeah, of course. So you started with the Twitter, you converted people over. You're getting all these guilds from the sort of biggest game that was Axie now over to Pegaxy. Once you get people over, so say you talk to 100 guilds, all the biggest ones coming over to Pegaxy. So what's your plan there? So obviously, Pegaxy is growing as sort of people find out about it as all these guilds are coming over. And now let's say they all hop over. Sort of what's the longevity and sort of how do you sort of approach and tackle people sort of like jumping from Axie to Pegaxy? Then how do you keep them on Pegaxy instead of sort of,
good
obviously
question.
There's going to be other games that come up. What sort of tactics and that sort of stuff do you sort of implement to try to keep people on that space?
That's a good question, because we want to know that as well, because we've got money into it. That's an awesome question, bro. What is going to retain? Are you constantly thinking of updates and new things coming out to just retain that audience? Or is it kind of just this is it?
Yeah, not so much even just keeping them on the game, just keeping the whole ecosystem sort of alive. Obviously there's things like cooldowns and things like that, but sort of what sort of things is Pegaxy and yourself implementing? Yeah, like I said, just to keep people on the game, keep the ecosystem alive and make sure it's, there's longevity behind it.
Lasts at least a year.
A year, shit. I mean,
a year, what?
Far out.
Tap out, boys.
That was good. So yeah, that's a big question. So I guess people in general, people stick around for community and vision. So you need to be able to portray the vision correctly and make sure that they understand it. The community also needs to understand the direction that you're going. It's not just maybe we would do this. It's this is our goal. This is what we want to do.
Yeah.
You also want to enable them to build with you, which is part of the infrastructure that we want to release in the future, I guess, with the open source type of stuff. So that'll come at some point. Takes a lot to build that. the main issue here is money isn't the issue. The issue is human resources. The currency when you're scaling is human, and you need to find the talent so that the person who wins in this space is, most of them have the core fundamentals of a good vision, good leaders, and direction, and then they are all competing for the last one, which is recruiting humans and being able to get them motivated and in the same direction. So, obviously, for the longevity of the economy, no one knows the answer. So, you know, we have plenty of ideas, and I put it out there as much as possible because the reality is, you know, we have theories, we have modeling, but until you put it live, you don't know the answer. And I think it's what comes along with modeling and predictions is asking the community, not running it live without asking them. So, you know, the introduction of, I always use this example. We could introduce a mechanism where it's like, kill your Pega. People will be like, why? And then we'll give them some incentive. Yeah, we'll give them incentives. Yeah, sacrifice, whatever. We'll give them some incentives to do it. It's like, we'll give you a rare item or something like that. Axie Infinity just did something like this. We'd prefer to take the approach like, you know, ask. So I would just go to the managers who, you know, the manager chat. I would just go to them and be like, what's it going to take for you guys to kill all of your Pega? They would tell me.
Yeah, right. So you're very community based, because I see you as well in Discord, and it's very rare to have a game. Excuse me. It's very rare to have a game that the people actually creating the content, the people actually creating roadmaps, that actually they're asking the community and the people invested, like, what do you guys think? Do you find that like being super valuable to have access on that level?
I think it's common sense. They're the ones playing. So it's like, I'm not going to go and guess when I can actually just ask you.
To see what they want and sort of implement that instead of just being like, hey, this is a new update, deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, like, what do you guys want? What's going to cause you guys to stay?
That's massive.
It's not a birthday.
That's huge. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, got you this. It's like, surprises are sick if you actually wanted the effing surprise and you got some hints. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to go and ask them for some shit. What are you thinking? They'll give me 50 different ideas. I'll be like, all right. Then I'll try and mold it all together, put it all together. Like the pitches, people have seen the pitches that I write, or the proposals I call them, that get around. Yeah. Usually it's just like, I go to the community with the prestige idea. Someone was like, what happens if you level it up? And I was like, okay, you can level it up, and then fixes the breed count. And then how about we merge two together, like prestige like Call of Duty. I couldn't have done that shit without it if I didn't ask the community.
Yeah. So just to sort of explain to those people listening that might not understand. So what we're talking about here, so obviously we spoke on last episode about unlocks, and sort of there's the 15-day Viz unlock that sort of your Pega earns from renting it out. So what we're talking about here is things like prestiging, say, 2 Pegas to keep, because basically Viz doesn't exist until one of those Pega wins a race, right?
Yeah.
So basically the aim sort of to keep prices stable and to keep sort of the economy going, and let me know if I'm right or wrong, is to obviously keep that Viz back in the game. So you do things like, so like I said, that Viz is created when a Pega wins a race. You can obviously cash that Viz out at the end of the 15 days. And then what you're talking about here with prestige and things like that is to basically burn more Viz, combine two, or sort of like combat, obviously, because if everything just grew crazy fast, there was no unlocks or anything like that, it would just be like, everything would be just too volatile, right? So they get
kind of like now.
Yeah, so the aim for things like prestige and sort of what you're talking about now is to keep that Viz coin in the game, so that sort of there's like I was saying,
so it doesn't leave
longevity.
the ecosystem. So what people need to understand is when you look on that burn and mint chart, the blue bar, which is mint, is compounding. The red bar is singular level. That means it only happens one time, whereas that blue bar happens every day, no matter what. Even if no one effing breeds, it keeps going every day. So and that percentage, as we have more in circulation, Bill says it all the time, and just said it on his most recent video. So we look at like 90% now, you know, that we've burnt 90%. We've had 90% for the last, I don't know how long. Totally fine. But 90% when there's a 1 billion minted versus 100 million minted, the 90% is a different value. People don't realize that. It's not the same 90%. That means there's still 10 times more in circulation, even if it's the same percentage. So people just miss that and, have overconfidence when they look at numbers, when they don't understand the impacts of them. So even right now, we've got 90% burned, which is cool. The impact is massive. There's still 100 million, for example, in circulation. It's a shit ton. That's a lot. That has to go somewhere. So with the prestige, for example, when you, as I was saying with the blue, that compounds and happens every day because the Pega don't have a life span. They live forever in theory. Yeah. So they need to die or they need to have a limit somehow. So that's the situation. If we kill Pega, then they can't mint VIS. That means less minted VIS. The best way to increase burn is for it to never exist in the first place. That's the theory behind it. But we don't know how exactly. We just need to run 20 different experiments.
Yeah, and speak to the community and see what sort of they're like you said before. So to keep people within the game, talk to those people that are actually playing and running these big guilds and sort of they represent sort of us as the players and say, hey, this is what I would, this is what I'd be willing to do. And then you take that and sort of go to your team and implement sort of,
somehow.
Yeah. Because you actually had sorry, bro. What were you going to say?
No, nothing.
Because, excuse me, because you actually said on one of your last videos, you're like, we're trying to reduce Viz essentially. So let's go to the actual main thing that's creating Viz, which is Pega. Let's find a way where we can minimize Pega, which would then minimize the mint of Viz. I think that's massive. Like that's a big move, and it's also a very good move, which would then keep the demand of Pega actually quite high, like it was at the start. Obviously now the whole market is going very well, but yeah, there will be a time where there will be an absolute inflation of Pega, and the only thing to do is kind of get rid of them to kind of retain the mint and how many Pega are at, like the value of Pega in general as an NFT. So there's definitely a lot for you to be thinking of. Like, how is your mind? Like, I kind of want to prick your brains, a bit of off topic. Like, so Pegaxy right now, a lot of people are making money. A lot of people have made like millions as well. Like I've heard a lot of testimony and Jayden and I have made some good money. How does this game work if the market is super inflated and Viz, there was a time where Viz was 2.8 cents. We were still making money, but what happens when it's kind of in a bear market movement? Like, is this game still, because we all know games can do well in a bullish market. Like obviously there's been money being into it. What happens when it kind of plateaus? What does that look like for you? Like, does the game survive? Is there enough in the economy to keep it going?
Well, personally, I look at this like people look at the horse game, but in my brain, everyone is part of a country. And the horse racing game currently is work, in theory.
Yeah, okay.
For an economy. So, and countries have upsides and downsides. And we need to consider the types of games or jobs that people play. So, my theory is that there is actually multiple games within a P2E game, a P2E country. This is the easiest way to look at it. P2E country is Pegaxy. Pegaxy is a country, and we need to make that economy work. If everyone had the same effing job and only one thing to spend it on, that shit's not going to work.
Correct.
That's what we have now.
Long term, yeah.
So what we need to do, or in theory, if you look at it, you've got business owners who are the breeders who produce more jobs, Pega, for the players.
Correct.
Who play the Pega who have jobs within this country. So we then need to provide these guys with 50 different businesses to run, which do different things, not breeding, but also these guys with 150 different jobs. How? I think I have an idea. It wouldn't just be us building it. It would be a large majority of the community. Axie has figured this out as well, or the same theory. So we would take that route. But I guess when it comes to a bear market, again, it gets rid of the paper hands, which is totally fine. You know, they'll come back around as soon as there's money again. But
does the game go on though?
Game can go forever.
Like, are people going to want to keep breeding, or are more people going to want to cash out?
And it's just the percentages.
Yeah.
So same as Axie. Axie's at 2 to 3 million DAU. That DAU goes from like 2.8 down to 2.1 now. It's totally fine. Gets rid of people. Some people don't want to play because they're not making much money.
Is that the daily active users? Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's mad drop. That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, someone did some maths the other day, like the way that you calculate your scholar's earnings for 50 Pega or 100 Pega or something like that is equivalent to 16,000 Axie scholars.
Wow.
Or something ridiculous. You know, that's of course people
Massive.
just can't deny that money, but that's only temporary.
Correct.
We need to figure some shit out. So I mean, yeah. And then when Axie recovers, watch them jump ship again.
Yeah. You reckon?
So they should be doing both. That's what I was mentioning earlier. Like,
yeah, correct.
This shit goes in cycles, and the biggest thing here is speed of development. That's why it can't be all on us as a studio, because we can only get so many hands, because we deal in the currency of humans, but not people with vision, and people who have the ability to build are generally building their own shit, not wanting to join someone else who's building. Wow. So it's very difficult to convince them. So enable them.
Yeah.
That's the plan. Enable them to build with you, but still for themselves.
Correct. Yeah,
open source.
Yeah, cool.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's the plan.
So essentially, just to kind of break it down for people to understand, because the way you talk is like, that's above my pay grade, bro. So essentially, like, Pegaxy is a foundation, like a country, and then you kind of break up Pegaxy into like states. If we're going to talk country, it's like states. So like Pegaxy is one game. There could be another game, where all of a sudden I have 50 managers under me, or 50 scholars that race my Pega, yet they can be working in another game as well, earning income with another game
with
that's
the same
still
NFTs.
same NFT,
same tokens,
cross-platformed essentially, where you keep them working, which then feeds essentially the country, where all states are kind of pointing towards Pegaxy.
It's that selling pressure.
Massive.
So
yeah.
It's always going to be selling pressure, because people, you know, that country isn't a real country. So there's going to be selling pressure. But if you reduce the selling pressure enough, the interest that comes in will generally flow. Hopefully, as interest over time decreases, because people are in it already and bringing less money in, then you don't need as much to keep the economy alive.
Sure.
Is the theory. So
that makes sense.
Like if you have 50 games that have syncs in them, each one has 5 syncs, that's 250 different syncs. How can you put 250 syncs inside of a single game? It's a shit ton.
Yeah,
it's probably impossible. It'll take us years, but if, we do it the route that we theorize, it'll become public soon enough that then it's more than possible in a short period of time, because the crypto industry is like crackheads. Everyone needs a top. Everyone needs.
I wasn't ready for that.
Like
that was like, bro, you tap my shoe before you go that deep.
They need a fix. They're like, give me some new shit, bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel ya.
All right, here's a skin. They don't want that. They want some big shit,
Yeah,
so,
sure.
And we can't go and get 1,000 employees overnight, become $1 billion game.
Sure.
When we don't even have $1 billion. So.
And I guess you being so open with them kind of gives them patience as you move forward, because you're so open with, hey, we're going to do this. What do you guys think? And then they say yes. So they know that you're kind of engaging with them, which then they know in turn takes a while to come out with this stuff. Like, you can't just keep it. Because at the moment, you guys been on a roll, man. Like, there's stuff coming out. There's Valentine's. You got your Valentine's event. You had this, you had that. You got your video that just dropped, which, like, you got mobile dropping soon as well. Like, there's a lot coming, and I think that's enough to keep everything going for a while.
It's fine now, but then when you go into big shit,
that's big.
It takes forever. So
yeah.
That's just a balancing act. I think comes with the wisdom of the team. you can purposely spread out instead of dropping shit all at once. And then
of course.
when you're building so many different things, Apollo, we've got all this other stuff coming out. Again, you can give them different types of hits. The crackheads.
Yeah.
That is really just what it is.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be offensive, but that's just the best
Yeah, I understand.
way to like relate it. You know what I mean? They need that like feeling it, and then they'll get mad at you if you're not providing anything. So I'm just as open as possible, and then I've shown them how we work in 6-week cycles. We've got 6-week development cycle. This is what we're doing in the 6 weeks. You come up with an idea that's sick, and I'm like, all right, let's do that. It's not going to happen in that effing 6 weeks, or probably the next one. So it's just as much transparency as possible. But the reality is, we're not effing superhumans. So we need to figure something out to make sure they can get their hit.
Yeah, of course. So obviously, like, so your mindset's all about sort of like the longevity of the game and giving people their hits and sort of keeping people on there. There's obviously levels to this game. Obviously, you're way ahead of myself and Josh, and for a lot of the people listening, myself and Josh are way ahead of them. So to sort of scale things back and sort of finish the episode off, would you have any advice for anyone that's sort of sitting there? Because basically we started this podcast to sort of help people that are on the fence, that are, want to learn about NFTs, that want to sort of, get into the space, don't really know how. So what would be your sort of advice or anything you could say to them in relation to Pegaxy or NFTs or anything like that? If you could sort of scale it down and simplify a version for those people listening and watching, what would be sort of, your advice to them? So sort of what to look at, what to do, where to go, just like expert advice for those people.
Without feeling like it's your fault if it fails. Because I know that's in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say anything positive because if they go broke, that's my fault. Like, this is like just straight up talk, bro.
That was. I was like, be
I
careful.
know, I can see it, bro. I saw the thought in the back of your head. I was like,
the assumption here is that you've already.
If they've got money
gonna be
to lose, if someone's got money to lose, they've got stable income, they don't care whether they lose or not. Just sort of.
But what about the other people?
Advice.
What about the people that want to invest to make money? Like,
oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
but if you don't got money to invest, don't invest it.
Well,
don't invest your effing rent.
Yeah, but that's a risk. I did it. You think I could afford to lose my money, bro? I'm not even kidding. No, bro, I'm not even kidding. When I invested, I took everything I made.
But you're different.
I'm not.
You're different.
How?
Idiot. No,
but cover both. It's a big thing, bro.
Time.
Because you hear all these things. Without risk, you don't make money. But now we're talking about people that can afford it. It don't make sense.
Yeah, fair.
Completely separate.
That's why I do it with Jayden, not you dickhead.
Jayden's Josh is talking about, he didn't have the money, blah 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 blah. Boy's got houses. He's got an.
Wow.
He can handle himself. Some people can't. You got effing 17-year-olds who work at Kmart like I did.
Yeah.
Who have $1,000, who are planning to save up for a car, and then like, all right, I'll put $1,000. I'll make effing 15 grand. I'll buy a better car. Put $1,000 in, send it to their mobile number like you did. You idiot. Anyway, so don't
so much underground jokes here.
Listen to these boys' advice. Be careful, but actually listen to their advice because they went through it. But I guess if you need to understand why we think this will work.
That's good.
So obviously we don't know if it'll work, but we think it'll work, and I think you need to understand the economic side. That's what happened to you boys. You knew NFTs, you knew there's a game attached to it, but the second you understand how the economy works, then it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
correct.
Like you were like,
that's when it clicked. That's when I was like, oh fuck, this is legit.
Like, that's how you make money. Okay, all right. I'm not scamming someone, or I'm not beating them, and they lose everything. It's like
correct. It's not a casino style.
Yeah, and it's not betting. It's like it's
business, bro. It's a legit business.
It's like a country economy.
Yeah,
it's
correct.
complex. Like if you don't get it, don't get into it. But you need to study. I think that's the reality.
100%. I didn't know nothing. I still barely do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you understand the fundamentals, you understand where the money goes and how it goes around in circles and how you're making money. And the reality is, new people need to come into the game for now. Generally, it's always going to be like that. That's with any game. For a game to survive, they need people to play, new people to come in.
Correct.
But money needs to come in at the moment for people to make money, and that's just the reality here. It's a zero-sum game. Some people are going to lose because they do their breeding wrong, because they buy expensive Pega at the top.
Correct, yeah.
Because they think they're a trader and eat shit. Me. That's just part of the market. So, I mean, if you have enough money, I don't know right now, what do you need? 10 grand?
Yeah, 8 grand.
Yeah.
To
10
dive?
grand to be safe to kick you off, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's a lot of money. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
right now, if Corey said you need to, to anyone, you need to invest 10 grand, that's a lot of money,
Yeah,
boys.
it's
eh?
overwhelming.
Like,
You're
it is
like, "Oh,
overwhelming.
okay.
Like, that's,
Maybe not.
like you said, it's someone's,
Yeah.
literal life savings.
Yeah.
because I know, I talk, that's why I don't ask you boys, because I know your personal life, and I'm like, you have goals. I'm like pulling back your goals out of a pipe dream that I have when I can risk it because I don't have an effing goal. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to buy a house or some shit.
Yeah, I feel ya.
I'm just
That's you. That's your life.
building.
You
I just
know,
want to
if it
build.
goes down, you just start something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I know the people around me are not like that. So I'm like, try to build something for other people who are in the same situation as myself, who are willing to take the risk. And then if you boys recognize it, sweet, come join.
Yeah, I feel ya.
So I think that's the same thing. It's like, don't join because these boys told you to join. Join because you understand this shit and you actually believe in it. Don't you?
So do
You ain't
the
going.
research.
Yeah, you ain't
Yeah.
going dropping 10 grand on these horses because you can potentially make money, but you don't actually know how the shit you make
Yeah,
money.
correct. You
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
need to be educated. I jumped in. I didn't understand how the whole breeding thing works. So on the first 2 weeks, it was free breeding. I was buying,
yeah.
I was buying horses that were like 3 out of 4, and I bred them not even caring about the cool downs. I bred them twice. Like there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of ways I did lose money essentially. But once you understand, and like I said, research, watch YouTube videos, read even on their website. Do you want to stop talking? No. Even read on the website like how much breeding costs. Look at the marketplace. Like, be on the game without actually having money in it, because you will start to understand. And the Discord, I think, is big. Discord is good to get knowledge. There's a lot of talk.
Or a guild.
Or a guild, yeah, guild.
Guild, like if you go to Stallion Guild, that you'll help them.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
To
Like-
the best I can, yeah.
Or TCG or RDG, or there's, I don't even know how many guilds. There's like 100 guilds or more
Yeah.
in Pegaxy. So it's like I mean, we've got 24/7 support, and the reason for that is so that people can get onboarded and ask any question they have. So just go to the Discord, ask the question, but you're probably gonna find more answers in the trenches, which is with the guilds. So
Wow. And just quickly, I've got a question. PGX as a governance token, would you suggest it's something that someone invests, just like your everyday trader, not so much a trader, but just an investor of like $1,000, $2,000? Is it something that you think it's a token that someone should invest in?
Josh is trying to
Pump the
get me
price.
in trouble.
I'm trying to pump the price. I need to make some money back.
History generally repeats itself, and we copied, or I wouldn't say copied, we had adopted, because we changed it, the tokenomics of Axie. I
Which
am
went well?
accumulating.
Which
Yeah,
went well.
it's going well.
Yeah.
Just look at AXS. So, I mean, yeah, Josh, you dove into AXS. You know what happened.
Yeah.
But again, this is not financial advice, obviously. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing. I am personally putting my own money into accumulating PGX.
Me too.
I'm a
Yeah.
bad trader. I'll make that
We
very clear.
kind of all filter like Corey, because we know you in real life, and I'm sure you get annoyed at how many times we message you every day, but like you'd be like, even over the last, in 2021, I'm like, hey man, what should I do? And you're like, hey, buy this, buy that. And I've done everything you said. And it's not financial advice, but obviously you talk up when you want to know information about something. You don't talk down. So obviously you know it. And yeah, bro, like you've had some good calls, but yeah, just copy you.
I've lost a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's why it's good, because then we gain it.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Do what you guys want. I'm confident because it's our project. But yeah, again, if you buy right now, could be at the top. I don't even know what the price is today. Have
Yeah,
a
it's
look,
a bit out of whack at the moment. Eh?
Yeah,
But,
at that today's a bad time to talk about it.
but I mean, that's what I mean. Like, you know, it could look good right now and it could shit itself down to 20 cents. There's private investors, there's people with big bags, there's low liquidity. So you guys just be careful and take out profit when you feel comfortable. If you double your money, you put 10 grand in, you make 10 grand, you pull out 20K, happy days, pay your tax.
Bro, that is hypocritical. Corey telling us to pay our taxes. Wow. Anyway, let's move forward because the government. The government. Hey, Joe, thanks.
Look
Yeah.
how he leads me into everything.
Hang on,
eh?
just
He
got
just
an
like
email. Oh, my
fully
Lord.
red flags. He's like, so will you give financial advice and you don't pay your tax?
Thanks, mate.
What the hell? This boy.
Oh, well done. All right, cool. Jayden, you got anything to
I'm not coming back.
add? We don't want you back, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just me and Josh from now on.
Camera cuts.
We actually got Kev. What's his name? Ken's coming in.
Yeah, Ken. Yeah, get Ken on the
Big
show.
Ken. He talks to me on Discord. Yeah, cool.
No, not really. Nothing. Just thanks Corey. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your
Thanks,
expertise.
100%.
Thank you for sort of explaining things in your words, in your mind, from sort of, you know, as I guess you would say, a bigger fish with sort of, you know, running the game, sort of making sure everything works out. So myself and Josh, like I said before, we're just players. So it's crazy to sort of wrap your head around, sort of get things explained to you simply on sort of the economics of the game, plans of moving forward, and how everything runs. So thank you for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And also, sorry, bro, I'll always cut you off.
It's got to be a problem. It's got to be a problem.
We're going to have to sort something out. But also super thankful, man. Like, I don't know if you guys understand how rare it is to actually be talking and actually have a friend that has gone and done something on this level. Like the caliber of human you are, bro, is absolutely insane. Even you coming into
Give me a big head.
Your hat's about to pop. Even coming into my company and just changing things around, like we appreciate you, Jayden and I. You've known Jayden your whole life almost, eh? We've only got good things to talk about you, bro. Like besides like when we pay you out, because you're weird. But
Isn't it funny the difference from like Joe Walton Street to now?
Oh, bro.
I always think about it.
Yeah.
I was number one hated in Australia.
Like for all of you who don't
I got
know,
a Subway with a face mask on and sunnies and a hat.
And
And the guy's
people
like, are you
still
Corey
know.
from Tack Toys? I was like, what the shit? I
Corey
turned
was
to
like the
Ange, and Ange was
face of
what
Tack
the-
Toys. Yeah. Super grateful, man, to even just have you in our lives, bro. You're a good man.
Likewise.
And you're very educated. Even when you're talking to friends, you know, you don't just go, oh, like me and you were like, we'll G each other
hype
up.
man,
oh,
man.
bro, it is so
You
much
making
hype.
money? I'm making money.
Let's
Oh,
make money. Yeah. But
Yeah.
then you come in and you bring this whole level
I'm like,
of,
you boys should be taking profit right now.
Yeah.
but you bring this, I guess it's a maturity
Yeah.
to us, and which then gives us the platform to kind of speak to people because we combine the hype with kind of education that you give us, even not just today, but throughout our life. So we thank you so much for that, bro.
Thanks, lads.
And
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Sweet.
sweet. Is that us?
That's a wrap. Episode 3.
Cool.
Thank you for
Episode
tuning
3.
in.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.